Hey everybody! Welcome back to Big Hair Gaming. We're here with another video covering our favorite game, Last War. And today's topic, we're talking about the sleeping giant, the glittering market. Now, the glittering market is basically, for those who aren't familiar, a store that'll come around, I think, about once a month. And it has some really good stuff that you can get in it. Now, previously, like just a couple months ago, like this was one of my least favorite events because if you didn't pay like actual money to engage with it, like you just couldn't do anything. But just a few months ago, maybe like 3 or 4 months ago, they updated the shop such that you can now buy a daily mega sale glitter coin pack for just 500 gems, and you'll get 60 of these glittering coin tokens, which is super great because now this means that everybody, including free-to-play folks, as well as low spenders, all that sorts of folks, everybody can participate in the glittering market. So this is much, much better, and now there's like a lot more accessibility for this shop, even if you want to wait. So one of the big important things I want to say about it is like the Ammo Bonanza event, the glittering market's currency does roll over between appearances of the glittering market, so you can save up the stuff, your coins, to get the stuff that you're going to see me go over in this video. So in this video, I'm going to go over a bunch of different things that you can grab. I'm going to focus on some stuff that I think you should grab, maybe if you're very early in the game, if you're in the mid game, and as well as like the late game. What do I think is the most valuable stuff for you to grab? But we'll go over all that stuff. But with that, let's jump on in. So first off, I want to start at the top here. The more of the glittering coin that you obtain, the more of these like special, benchmark resources that you'll be able to grab. At just 100 of the glittering coin, which would be pretty easy to get, you can grab that every time for just a couple hundred gems, or a couple thousand gems. You'll be able to get 10 universal shards. At 400 coins, you'll be able to get a decoration chest, and then it gets really good, and I think it kind of caps out here. If you can get 1,000, you're going to get a level 5 component drone component choice chest, and that's really good because the drop rates for drone components are not normalized, what that means is that the weights are somewhat skewed. So the stuff that doesn't deal damage has a higher chance of showing up when you open those randomly selected boxes, and the stuff that does deal damage, I think that's on the right side of your drone, comes up a little bit less frequently. So usually, I almost always recommend that if you can get any kind of drone component choice chest, that you always go for the things that appear less frequently as compared to the other stuff that shows up randomly, which is usually going to be like your missile, that kind of stuff. I usually always go for missile. The later stuff that appears, there's not, like, if you're not many people are going to be getting up to 4,000 per occurrence of the glittering market. And please, please, please do not aim to get 10,000 glittering market coins because you want 1,000 dielectric ceramic. There are other ways to get dielectric ceramic if you really, really needed it. And if you're getting that big, you probably don't need, tons and tons of dielectric ceramic because you have a lot of other opportunities to do that. But let's go into the other offers that are here. So if you're not a super big spender, if you're a free-to-play person, these offers are available elsewhere within the shop. But these offers are going to be like much more cheaper alternatives to those. There's only one that you can get per day. You'll see the availability day is set to 1, but you can get them every single day that the glittering market is available. And that's going to be the opportunity to get 10 choice hero chests. So for just 60, so that's the amount that you can get for free every day. For free, by which I mean like you spend the gems rather than money to get it. You can get 10 of these boxes. You can use them to get one of any of the shard that are in here. So if you need like only 3 Luciuses and 7 Carlys, you can do that just fine. Next up, this is something, so like whenever you see dielectric ceramic in the shop, I literally only ever recommend that very, very, very new players like buy it in the shop with like in-game materials or whatever. Don't spend real money for it. But like dielectric ceramic and getting like your first legendary weapons is a lot like getting your high school diploma. Like when you don't have one, it matters a whole lot, and if you do have one, it doesn't really matter at all. So take that with a grain of salt. You know, if you don't have any legendary weapons, then buying dielectric ceramic in the shop can be a really good way for you to obtain a lot of it very quickly and quickly throw on like a legendary cannon onto, you know, your strongest unit, which is probably going to be Kim or Diva, depending on, you know, whatever kind of team you're building initially in the game. But it can be a quick way for you to get your hands on some dielectric ceramic for a nice little boost that gets over everybody else. Especially because you're gonna when you're upgrading gear, you don't really want to keep upgrading epic level gear. But once you get your first legendary stuff, then you can really start to drive that up. And then lastly, here at the top, we have the Legendary Choice Chest, which is a chest that I really like. It's going to allow you to get some Universal Hero Shards and get 10 of them. Or you can get 40 drone parts, very nice. Or you can get some 5,000 upgrade ore, very nice. Or a level 5 drone component chest. That's one of the ones that will give you a random piece out of it. Or lastly, you can get 15 legendary resource choice chests, which can also be valuable. For myself, I tend to go for the drone parts or maybe the drone component, simply because like those are you're gonna need tons and tons and tons and tons of drone parts. And getting the level 5 drone component chest can be nice because that just boosts up your drone a little bit faster than the level 1s, 2s, and 3s that you'll often get. Or sometimes if I need the upgrade ore, I might take the upgrade ore. I don't usually go for that, but those are my recommendations for what to grab out of a luxury choice chest. Um, Hey Commanders, just want to take a quick moment to say that if you're enjoying the video, feel free to give the video a like and drop a comment down below. Even if it's just, hey, thanks for the video, because all that engagement does really help my channel grow, and I do super appreciate it. If you're brand new, feel free to subscribe, because I got a lot of tutorials, guides, game explanations, and mechanics for strategies to succeed. And lastly, I just want to mention that I do have channel memberships available if you're really vibing with the kind of content that I'm producing. You'll get a cool flare symbol next to your name in the comments, member shoutouts, as well as being able to join in on some live stream recordings for battles and events. But hit the join button down below if you want to check it out. But with that, let's keep it rolling. So, moving on to the mid game, there's a whole lot of really good stuff that's in here. Now, some of it I'll come back to the stuff that you see here. These are some of like the really big ticket items that I think are worth saving up for, especially if you're a free player. But going into some of the other stuff that you have here, the skill chip chests, the epic level ones, can be really good. They only cost 30, which means that if you're playing for free, you can get 2 of these per day when you're picking up those daily 60 gems for the 500. Those daily 60 tokens for the 500 gems. This can be really good to just start like populating your drone chips just to make sure that there's something going on in every slot. This can be a really good way to do that. Now, what I recommend if you're willing to be like a low spender in this event is to actually go for the skill chip choice chest. Now, what this is basically the better version of the skill chip chest. That's the legendary one, because the skill chip legendary chest, the UR chest, is going to randomly give you some legendary chip. And, you know, if you don't yet have all your legendary chips, maybe this is valuable because you're just trying to fill in all of those drone chip slots to make sure that you have all legendaries in there. Because it does take a lot of investment for an epic level chip to surpass a legendary level chip. If you want me to do a video about drone chips, let me know in the comments down below. They can be kind of complicated. A lot of people have questions about, like, you know, what's the right time to switch from using purples to golds, that kind of stuff. If you want me to do that, feel free to let me know down below. I'm happy to dig into that. But this one will randomly give you one, and like when you're really working on your drone chips, it's much more helpful to just pick the ones that you need, because they're very difficult to acquire and they're very slow to obtain if you're doing it for free, which is what I do. I don't usually tend to spend a lot of money to boost the drone, just because it is a slow burn mechanic. If you invest a whole lot of money in it, it can be ultra powerful, but it's just simply meant to be a slower mechanic. But in any case, the this chest will allow you to just choose exactly what you need. So if you're only 1 or 2 chips away from an upgrade for a particular kind of vehicle type, you can just get exactly what you need from this one, which is why I really like it. Some of the other stuff that's very good to obtain are going to be the gear blueprints. You're going to need blueprints hand over fist in order to upgrade your gear to get it up to the point where you can make it a mythic level gear piece. So being able to obtain the gear blueprints here for 60 coins a pop is very, very useful. If you're willing to spend a little bit, if you're a low spender or a mid spender, I would say it's worth investing in these, just because they're the equivalent is 10,000 honor points per blueprint. So if you're thinking of that, like, what's easier for you to obtain, 60 coins or 10,000 honor points, 60 coins starts to look pretty nice. Some other stuff that's really good, you can grab some upgrade ore if you need it, because you're working on being able to upgrade that gear. If you find yourself in a little bit of a deficit, 250 is a little bit of a steep price, especially because like you'll start to need 15,000, 20,000, 25,000 to upgrade some of that gear at higher levels. But if you really, really need it, it can be valuable. More so if you're a mid spender. As a low spender, I'd probably try to rely on getting upgrade ore from other sources, but getting my blueprints from here, for example. And then for medium spenders and big spenders, the resource choice chest, the legendary one, really for anybody, can be a really good way for you to get a lot of resources, especially if you're spending a lot to boost up that gear, trying to get stuff up to the mythic level. You're going to need a lot of resources to do that. Specifically, you're just going to need a lot of coin. And these legendary chests being available for only 5 coins a pop is very, very nice, especially because these are level tied. So the higher that your level is, the more valuable they're going to become. So if you're maybe on the way to level 30 or your T10s, and maybe you spent a bunch of your level tied chests already, you can still re-up on them here in the glittering market, which is one of the things that makes it so valuable. Now, before we get into the really big stuff that I find to be super duper valuable for the shop, I do want to go into some of like the red herrings that I think are absolute hot dog water when it comes to the shop and just not worth your time. And a lot of that stuff is down here at the bottom. So first up is the enchanted fungus base. Trash, especially if you're going for this as a free-to-play player, and the reason is that the upgrades for it only increase damage to monsters. Yes, this can be valuable if you're fighting the code monsters and you're trying to push yourself to get like a little bit extra damage, but if you're doing it for free or you're a low spender, like, do not spend 1,500 coins on this. There is so many better power boosts that you can get with 1,500 coins that will be permanent and apply to everything rather than going for this mushroom base. Now, if you're a really big spender and you just want the mushroom base because you want that extra 5% or technically extra 6% for having and using the base simultaneously, then by all means, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I wouldn't waste my time. Second is universal hero shards. These are going to cost you 10 a pop, and it's not that that's bad. Even early on, it's not that that's bad, but you have so many other avenues to obtain universal hero shards that I wouldn't recommend spending 10 of your glitter coins on them here, but rather trying to use some of those other opportunities to get the glitter coins. Another one that I think is not worth your time is, please do not buy these Silver Assault Trooper statues. The boosts that you get aren't that good. They don't scale very well, and you're just going to need tons of them. And they cost 40 a pop, which is, like I said before, for the same reasons. There's so many more beneficial things that you can do with 40 glitter coins than buy this statue. So skip that. Alrighty, and now some of the stuff that you might get if you only really need it. If you do have the opportunity to buy Valor badges, I have never ever run out of Valor badges ever. I do the VS stuff on the regular. I compete in the battles. I do the arena. There's a lot of opportunities for you to get Valor badges, but if you need them, they are here for you to grab. So if you find yourself running low, you can re-up during the glittering market. They do cost 50 a pop for only 100, so I'm not super crazy about that exchange. But maybe if you're a whale, if you're a really big spender, and you're burnt, you're just tearing through research, maybe you have a reason to get them. But for me, not so much. I don't really need them. But now moving on up. For the very big ticket stuff. So we have the dual propeller base. It's very nice. We also have the Tower of Victory. More on that in just a moment. And then one of the major pieces for the glittering market is the accessibility of the the mythic gear blueprints. But let's start from the left first. So first, the dual propeller base. This one is a big ticket item here. You'll also note that the cost of this completely coincides with the boost from the drone parts. So if you do decide to save up for the base, like you will get all of these upgrades in that instance of the glittering market when you buy it, which is pretty nice. 200 drone parts is nothing to sneeze at for sure, and definitely a nice little extra bonus for buying the propeller base. Now, because you can save up your tokens from iteration to iteration, I did sit down and kind of go through the back of the napkin math for how long will it take you to be able to buy the helicopter base if you want to do it for free. So if you choose to only grab these the mega sale glitter coin packs, which is the ones that you can do for free, that'll give you 60 every day. And if you do that, with the assumption that the glittering market does in fact come around every month, it'll take you about 14 months to grab. It's about 13 and a third, but because you have to wait for the next iteration to come around, it's going to be 14. That's going to be a while. Now, the thing that I think the most cost-effective way that you can do it is actually if you grab these daily free ones and you go for the $5 coin pack. The $5 coin pack is the best value one in the shop. You can see all of the other shop packs are going to scale linearly, so that basically that means if you spend $10, you get 100. You spend $20, you get 200. You spend $50, you get 500. That kind of thing. Whereas the $5 pack is only 20 coins fewer than the $10 pack. So this is definitely the best value, as it says here. Like, they're not lying to you there. But if you grab the free one and the $5 pack, if you do that every day, it'll take you about 6 months for you to be able to buy the helicopter base. If you do the free one and the $10 pack, it'll be about 5. If you do the free one and the $20 pack, it'll be about 3. The $50 pack and the freebies will take about a month and a half, or more accurately, 2 months. And then if you're willing to do the $100 pack, you're probably just going to drop the full $400 and buy it outright, because this is the 4,000 tokens that you need right there. I won't tell you what to do, but I am willing to wait. So for me, as a medium to low spender, or whatever I'm classified as, I would be totally okay with doing the daily value glitter coin pack. And now that I have the opportunity to get some extra coins every day, I'm much more willing to engage in the glittering market than I was before. Where before I almost never bothered to engage with it. And you'll definitely hear some other folks say that the glittering market is super duper good and it's super duper valuable, and there is a lot of good and a lot of value to be had here, but one of the reasons that it kept me at bay was just because it was a very cost prohibitive engagement, where there was no opportunity for any free to play people to really do anything up until about 3 or 4 months ago. So that's kind of my opinion about it. Getting into the Tower of Victory statue, this one is very good because at level 3, you're going to get the opportunity to obtain an additional 1.5 critical damage, which is very nice. And for folks who were on their way to Season 2 or early on in Season 2, you might want to grab it because it'll give you a boost to your base's temperature for the duration of Season 2. You know, if you're at the tail end of Season 2, if it's week, 7 of 8, you might not care. But the critical damage is still nice, and I still recommend grabbing it because it is a valuable piece of statue to have in your base. And then lastly, one of the really big ones that's here is the Mythic Blueprints. You can get, I think you can get about 300. I think you can get 300 of the glitter coin packs per session, because you can get one every day and it runs for 5 days. So 60 times 5 will get you 300. So this one will let you obtain a mythic gear blueprint once every time. So that'll basically take you about 10 months to be able to grab 10. But this is essentially a free way for free to play players to obtain a mythic gear piece. Obviously, if you're willing to pay, you can grab more of them and then be prepared to produce more mythic gear and do it that way. That is what a lot of folks who are willing to spend a lot do. And if you're a big spender, then the glittering market is an amazing resource for you. If you're not a big spender and you're just a medium spender or a low spender or even a free-to-play player, it can still be valuable for you, provided that you're paying attention to what you need and getting the stuff that really will help kick you to that next level. So yeah, there's a couple of other things here that you saw. There's some, some resources, some purple resources. I'm not really big on those, although you can get these for gems, so those are valuable for you to pick up. But I don't want to spend too many of my gems on this kind of stuff if I don't really necessarily need to. But I just wanted to call that out, that if you do have to scroll down a little bit, and you will note that there are some stuff that you can spend gems on. But yeah, with that, I'm going to bring the video to a close. That's pretty much everything that I wanted to try to squeeze into this little video. But if you found it helpful, if you found it valuable, please feel free to share the video with your alliance, like, comment, and subscribe. And comment down below, like, thanks for the video. Just because all that stuff does help out my channel a whole lot, and I do really appreciate it. I want to thank our channel member subscribers for subscribing to the channel. Your monthly contributions do help keep these videos free and keep them low, all that sorts of stuff. And I'm really glad to have you here along for the ride with me. I really appreciate that you believe in the videos that I'm making, all that sorts of stuff. But yeah, I want to thank you all for watching. I want to thank you for listening, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care, y'all.